Now on the CTV News at 5, how much Albertans will pay for a COVID vaccine. Plus, celebrating 40 years of Tabor Cornfest. And pro rodeo action kicks off at Whoop Up Days.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this Friday. The Alberta government has released more details of the COVID vaccine rollout plan for this fall. Phase 1 will have free vaccines to eligible Albertans, including healthcare workers, residents of continuing care homes, seniors in supportive living, home care clients, people with underlying medical conditions and compromised immune systems, the homeless, and people aged 65 and older receiving the Alberta Seniors Benefit. Now, Phase 2 will make vaccines available to everyone else for a $100 fee. But instead of paying the fee, Albertans could head to BC for a free shot. That province says after giving priority to its residents, any Canadian can get vaccinated there for free. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is defending her government's new policy.
This was a vaccine that was covered for 3 years by the federal government, and they chose to stop funding it. And so we had to make an assessment of what it would cost us if we resumed covering it in the same way that they did. The challenge is that fewer and fewer people each year are choosing to seek the COVID vaccine. Last year it was only 13.7%. And so we have a mismatch of how much we're ordering versus what the demand is.
Vaccine advocates are concerned about limited access to COVID shots in Alberta, which now will only be available at Alberta Public Health Centres. And Premier Smith has toured some of the areas hit hard by Wednesday's severe storm in her Brooks Medicine Hat riding. Smith posted photos of herself meeting residents, first responders, and utility crews. She gives thanks to AltaLink, Fortis, and Aero crews for restoring power. Intense hail and wind caused widespread damage. The powerful storm snapped power lines, battered homes, and killed a pony and camel at a Brooks area farm. Radium Park Lodge was the scene of a fire earlier this morning. Local officials say everyone escaped. Paramedics took one person to Invermere Hospital as a precaution. A reception center to help displaced guests and residents is at the Radium Hot Springs Center. Firefighters from the Regional District of East Kootenay, Columbia Valley, and Invermere assisted the Radium Department. The cause is under investigation. And after much debate, review, and public pushback, Fernie City Council is sticking with plans to build a new fire hall at its original proposed site and not to locate it to a popular park on 2nd Avenue where baseball games happen several nights a week. A city report determined the site is not big enough for future co-use. Potential contaminants from nearby train tracks and a number of calls would require driving through the downtown core. Firefighters are currently operating out of a temporary location. The city says it is proceeding with plans for the $16 million fire hall at the original location on 5th Avenue. Well, the federal government is dropping some retaliatory tariffs on American products to match U.S. exemptions for goods covered under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement. Prime Minister Mark Carney made the announcement this morning.
Canada and the United States have reestablished free trade for the vast majority of our goods. Canada will retain our tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos as we work intensively with the United States to resolve the issues there. Indeed, our focus is squarely on these strategic sectors and the future.
Carney says the decision will take effect on September 1st. The weekend is finally here, Danielle Savoni.
Sure is. We made it.
Oh, any big changes in the forecast?
Nothing.
Oh.
In fact, this is the most uninteresting forecast I think I can deliver to you this entire summer. It's quiet. It will continue to be quiet. This is a ridge of high pressure building in, and this is a strong ridge. You can see the clouds that are off in Saskatchewan at this point and nothing here. That's really the story for the rest of this week and much of next week as well. Now, temperatures are not warm yet, but oh, they will climb. 20 degrees is the temperature in Medicine Hat, mainly sunny skies, and we're in those low 20s, mainly Lethbridge and through Milk River, Medicine Hat, Brooks, and up to Drumheller, just barely there, or almost there in Pincher Creek. Winds are calm, but we're about to get into some real heat. I'll show you that coming up, Jackie.
All right, thank you, Danielle. As Whoop Up Days is in full swing, officials with the Lethbridge and district say attendance numbers are looking really good. While final numbers aren't available and won't be shared until the end of the exhibition says so far they are on pace or slightly ahead of where they were last year at this time. The LDE says 2024 set a record attendance for paid admission with more than 40,000 people through the gates. With still more today and more days to go, officials say it's likely some records could be broken. It's not just more people through the gates that the Lethbridge and District exhibition has been planning for. So too is the support for community organizations. With thousands of people taking in the city's largest festival, the exhibition has created a new community zone for local nonprofits and organizations to showcase what they have to offer free of charge. Carson Marsouk reports.
It's been a busy 3 days for staff at the Lethbridge Family Services table inside the marketplace at Whoop Up Days.
Really happy to chat with folks and kind of explain our services a little bit and connect with people.
In a new community zone, more than 20 nonprofits, community groups, and organizations are set up throughout the week to showcase what they have to offer to the community. With more than 40,000 people through the gates last year, those involved say it's a chance for them to grow their outreach.
It's huge to us. Like, that much traffic in the door is just that many more people that we can connect with, we can teach about our services. Sometimes people don't know about all the amazing social services that are in their community, and this is an opportunity to learn a little bit about LFS and those other great service providers.
And that's the reason why the Lethbridge and District exhibition introduced the new zone this year.
We're a connector in the community. We have the space and we have the events to bring the community together, to drive economic growth, to drive social growth and social change. So it's part of what we do, and so finding ways like this to use our biggest event of the year, attendance-wise, to drive this type of interaction, it's something that we're happy to do, but something that we should be doing.
The space is free of charge for community groups to set up. Paul Keynesmith says it's part of investing in the community and bringing everyone together. Well, this is a step forward. He says more work to grow the community aspect of Whoop Up Days is already underway.
We're a fair that's been going for over 125 years, and yet, we've heard when people come to town, they drive in and they don't necessarily know that this is our Whoop Up Days. You can tell it when you're on the grounds, but it's spreading out from the grounds is where we see the most growth potential and where we want to get involved with other community groups, and we're now dedicating resources to developing and fostering those relationships.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The community zone is open throughout Whoop Up Days within the Marketplace and Family Fun Zone of the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Centre. Now, if you're planning to head to the fairgrounds tomorrow, you may want to consider taking an e-scooter with Bird Canada. The company will be donating $1 from every scooter ride to Whoop Up Days to the United Way of Lethbridge and southwestern Alberta. The United Way says the money will go towards helping support vital programs right here in the community. Bird Canada has a tent set up with e-scooters and bikes at Whoop Up Days to rent. Flapjacks are continuing to be served across the city, including this morning at the annual Lethbridge Post-Secondary Pancake Breakfast. The breakfast was not only to celebrate Whoop Up Days, but also a chance to mark the beginning of a new school year. The event was open to current and future students, alumni, employees, and the public. Along with free flapjacks, the schools had booths set up to learn more about the post-secondary institutions. Organizers say it's a great way to build their community relationship.
Both the post-secondary institutions work together on many things, including joint programs, collaborative research programs, and we are developing talent for serving the needs of the community in different aspects.
Things are looking fantastic. Our domestic enrollments are up. Indigenous enrollments are up. The apprentice numbers are higher than they've ever been. So we're set for a very strong start to our year, and kind of looking forward to getting it going.
This was the third year both institutions have held the annual breakfast. And there is just one Whoop Up Days pancake breakfast to tell you about left. The Marathana Christian Reformed Church will be serving up pancakes, sausages, eggs, fruit, coffee, and juice this Sunday at the church. They will be accepting donations for the Streets Alive mission. There are still 2 full days left on Whoop Up Days activities, including the new wrap-up day on Sunday. While Sunday will see a scaled-down version, you'll still be able to ride the West Coast Amusements Midway, check out the range of food trucks, and take in the beer gardens. Entry into the wrap-up event is only $5. The Lethbridge and District Exhibition says the added day is designed to give people another opportunity to visit Whoop Up Days or come back for more at a discounted cost.
This was an opportunity that was brought to us by West Coast Amusements, who they run the fair all over Western Canada, and so they run a pretty tight schedule. So for a long time up until this year, they actually really had to get on the road on Saturday night to hit their next show, but they had some organizational changes and it freed up some time in their calendar. And so they approached us and said, we now have this Sunday available. We'd love to stay for another day. Do you want to do something? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what this community feels about having that Sunday of Whoop Up Days.
All the regular programming will be held on Saturday, including the fireworks finale at 11 p.m. A full list of events can be found at whoopupdays.ca. Now, to the east of Lethbridge, residents in Tabor are celebrating a major milestone at this year's Cornfest. The Southern Alberta staple event is turning 40 years this year. Following last night's parade, the grounds opened, including the Wild Rose Midway. Other events throughout the weekend include the Bullarama BMX show, the corn eating contest, and more. Cornfest is the largest free family fair in all of Western Canada. Organizers say the event is truly for the community.
I've remember going to Cornfest since I was a little kid in, middle school, elementary school, stuff like that. And it's just kind of been a staple of the area for as long as I can remember. So it's great to be able to really help and give back a bit to that, especially for a 40th anniversary.
Tabor's Cornfest runs until Saturday. And Castle Mountain Resort is holding its 29th annual Huckleberry Festival tomorrow. The best berry picking is around the tree line. So for this one event, the ski resort opens the chairlift during the summer months. The festival gives you a chance to pick berries while you stroll through the mountains. You do have to buy a chairlift ticket online, but it's free for anyone to hike up the mountain and take in the live music, events, and vendors. Huckleberries are only found in the Castle and Waterton region. It is time for our first break, and Danielle is back with the forecast when we return. We'll also tell you about a potential breakthrough for those suffering from endometriosis.
All right, here's your sky cam. It's facing west. It doesn't matter which way you face today, you see blue sky. And that's the story not just for the rest of this week, that is the story for pretty much all of next week as well. Temperatures will build. So we haven't had a lot of summer heat in many communities this summer in comparison to other summers, but we will certainly have a good stretch of it as we head through this week. So I hope you like the heat because it's on the way. 19 degrees in Calgary, this is the high so far today. So the heat is not in Alberta just yet. We're mainly in those low 20s in the far south. Brooks at 21, Medicine Hat 22, Lethbridge at 20, Milk River 21, and look at that, Pincher Creek just got to that 20-degree mark. Yeah, we will climb into the 30s for most areas, especially by next week, and I'll show you that in the long range in just a second here for Lethbridge. All right, so nothing going on north of Edmonton and all the way down. It's quiet in the entire province. We have this system that pushed off into Saskatchewan, creating some cloud cover there, but overall the prairies even from BC over to at least Saskatchewan is fairly quiet today. Okay, here's the ridge of high pressure. This is why it's quiet from BC in through Alberta in through Saskatchewan, because this ridge is building in and that creates that stability. It promotes the sinking air so we don't have any lift to promote any sort of thunderstorm activity. We will have the heat that will build under this ridge. It's like a protective bubble, and the heat will just continue to build and build, just like in your car, for example. Okay, Futurecast showing you, really going to play this through for the next 2 days, and it's showing you just nothing. So I really hope you can get out there, enjoy the beautiful sunshine, the calm winds that come with it for tomorrow and for the weekend as well. It looks very nice. Okay, East Kootenay, 11 degrees overnight, clear, a whole lot of sunshine for tomorrow. 30 degrees is the air temperature, but with the humidity, it will feel closer to 33 in the afternoon hours tomorrow. Crozes Pass, 4 degrees for tonight. So keep in mind, it's a cool night, and that means it's cool to start tomorrow morning as well. At 8 a.m., you're only looking at about 7 or 8 degrees. So cool start to the day, but the afternoon comes with a whole lot of sunshine as well, and that will get us up to 24 degrees. So the heat will start to build in by tomorrow afternoon. 7, so cool night in Medicine Hat as well. Cool tomorrow morning to kick off the day, but in the afternoon, 25. And yes, a whole lot of sunshine. UV index in all of these communities in the far south will be high. So sunscreen necessary. 26 degrees in Lethbridge for tomorrow. You can see a whole lot of sunshine in through the weekend and much of next week as well. Close to that 30-degree mark by Sunday, and then we will be in the 30s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
About 1 in 10 Canadian women will be diagnosed with endometriosis, and now there's a new way to try and diagnose the chronic disease. Here's CTV's Scott Miller.
A disease that impacts over 1 million Canadians each year may have a new way to be diagnosed.
An ECG would listen to the electrical activity in the heart. This will listen to the electrical activity that is in the small bowel, and it picks up a fingerprint or a very specific frequency of electrical activity that tells us endometriosis is present.
Endometriosis is a chronic inflammatory disease that can lead to pelvic pain, heavy menstrual bleeding, and infertility or subfertility in 7% of Canadian women. It's also very elusive to diagnose, taking upwards of 5 years in Canada for a definitive diagnosis, which typically ends in surgery to try and correct. EndoSure aims to change that.
On average, worldwide, it's 8.6 years to get into surgery and to get diagnosed. This drops it to less than an hour.
Only a handful of clinics offer the new endometriosis diagnostic tool in Canada.
People that live in rural communities don't want to go into big cities. And it's unfortunately that can be a big deterrent of something that could be life-changing for them.
Inspired by the founder of Preventative Healthcare Awareness Month, Margaret Wallace-Duffy, Vandenbush also offers OsteoSound REMS bone scans to help clients curious about whether they have osteoporosis or not.
But with one mission in mind, and that's to put the everyday Canadian at the center of their care, to stock their preventative health toolbox, to improve their health esteem so they can better advocate and recognize that they're the most important member of their healthcare team.
While the EndoSure and OsteoSound bone scans are currently only offered in private clinics, Wallace-Duffy says they are working to bring both Tier 1 tests to the publicly funded healthcare system. In Exeter, Scott Miller, CTV News.
The world's oldest person is a year older. Ethel Carterham just celebrated her 116th birthday in Surrey, England. She earned the title of the world's oldest living person back in May, confirmed by Guinness World Records. Ethel was born in Hampshire in 1909 and was the second youngest of 8 children. She has 3 granddaughters and 5 great-grandchildren. She says the key to a long life is finding a hobby you love and making friends through it. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, we check out day 1 of rodeo action next in sports. The Lethbridge and District Pro Rodeo kicked off last night. Cowboys and girls from across Canada and the U.S. are looking to lock up their spots for the Canadian Finals Rodeo. Quinn Keenan reports.
The Broncs were bucking and the crowd was buzzing for night 1 of the 2025 Lethbridge and District Pro Rodeo. Over the course of 3 nights, fans can take in bull riding, steer wrestling, warrior relay races, and more. Since its return in 2022, it's become a staple event for Whoop Up Days.
You know, proud of the organization here and the community for getting behind the rodeo and Whoop Up Days. And we see, you know, not just the contestants coming and top level production personnel, the whole gamut.
Lethbridge has become an important stop on the Canadian Pro Tour. It's the second last week before the Canadian Finals Rodeo in Edmonton. For those on the bubble, it's essentially the playoffs.
You know, every time you nod your head and you have an opportunity to win, you better come out and do it. We go to 100 of these rodeos in a year, and the winner at the end is the one who won the most on them 100 horses, them 100 rodeos. So you gotta come out, you gotta do your all every single time.
Outside of the high stakes, it's still a favorite stop for cowboys and girls. Large crowds and top-notch facilities help to make it an enjoyable event.
I always love coming to Lethbridge. They have a PBR here in the wintertime, and then they have a rodeo here. And I seem to always do good here. Kesslers bring, the best bulls we have in Canada here. They bring such a good pen for us bull riders to get on. It's always one I look forward to coming to, and I'm grateful that it's here.
With so much on the line, Lethbridge usually sees a stacked lineup of competitors. Some of the best rodeo competitors across North America will be here taking part.
All of the events look great. We got a lot of world-class competitors coming, and then we also have contestants in every event because the heat of the battle for the Canadian Finals Rodeo is on.
The Lethbridge and District Pro Rodeo runs until Saturday. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Pure Power Wrestling's Hot Summer Night is going down tonight inside the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Center. This is the third year the Lethbridge and District Exhibition has partnered with Pure Power Wrestling, offering wrestling at Whoop Up Days. The show will feature a bunkhouse brawl between Tyler Hard Knocks and the last jerk standing Joshua Kirby. The family-friendly event for all ages features the best wrestling in southern Alberta. The event gets underway at 7. Lethbridge Hurricanes have announced their schedule for their 2025 training camp. The rookie camp opens Thursday, August 28th. The main camp starts Saturday, August 30th, wrapping up on Sunday, August 31st. It's being held at the visitlethbridge.com arena. The camp is free to the public to attend. A brouhaha on a Red Deer golf course has inspired the creation of a new beer, the Tarnaski. Video of the fight between former NHL enforcer and Lethbridge Hurricane Nick Tarnaski and another man at Alberta Springs Golf Course went viral earlier this summer. It was viewed tens of millions of times. Now, Tarnaski and Dark Woods Brewing in Innisfail have partnered to create a light lager. Nick Bell, co-owner of Dark Woods Brewing, says Tarnaski used to coach him when he played hockey.
We've had some great response from the community. Everyone thinks it's just the coolest thing and kind of the funniest thing, to be honest. Getting phone calls and messages all from his hockey teams back when he played in the NHL, down in Vegas all the way to Florida, and they're asking me to send it all the way to there. And
police declined to investigate the incident. The other man involved in the fight posted a video online apologizing for his role in it. Tarnaski has been cleared as a coach to return for Red Deer minor hockey this upcoming season. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. A Canadian is the defending World Air Guitar Champion, but can he hold on to his title? That story next. Welcome back. A 35-year-old Canadian man is trying to defend his title at, get this, the Air Guitar World Championship in Finland.
From Canada, Ichabod!
Zachary Knowles, aka Ichabod Fame, plucked the crown last year with his air rendition of Nickelback's Photograph. And this year, the Toronto native is one of 17 contestants competing in the 28th annual Air Guitar World Championships. And the winner will be named today. The prize, an actual guitar. 28th year of Air Guitar World Championships. You heard it here. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.